Well, hello. Change of background because I'm sitting down and I just wanted to casually talk to you guys today about what I've read in April. In April, I read 8 books, which is one of the biggest number I've had in a very, very long time. Thanks to isolation, I have read a lot. I will also be talking about my May TBR. So in April, I started the month by finishing the Starbound series by reading Their Fractured Light by Amy Kaufman and Megan Spooner. I have made a review last week, I think, or maybe the week before that. I don't remember which week that was. But yeah, I really loved it. The whole series, I really enjoyed it. I gave this book a 4.5 out of 5 stars. I really liked it. And then I saw, I think it was Emma, who talked about this app called Scribd, and she said that it was really interesting. She really liked it. I think that's what she said. And so I decided to give it a go. I decided to listen to Eliza and Her Monsters by Francesca Zappia, and it was narrated by Caitlin Kelly and Kate Rudd. The narration was really amazing, so that was maybe one of the points why I loved it so much. I had been meaning to make a review about this book, and I will. I just didn't get the time to do it properly. Actually, the real reason why I didn't want to put it out now was because I didn't want to put 3 reviews in 3 weeks. I don't think you guys would want that. Tell me down below if you don't really care that much, if just reviews are fine, because I don't really know how much people like reviews, because I know that tags are really interesting, and just sit down talk videos about books is also really interesting. So if you have any ideas, you can just tell me down below, because I'm not really sure how much of book reviews you like. I absolutely adored this book. This book was on so many levels a book that I wanted and that I needed, and it was incredible. Honestly, it is a very contemporary book. It is very light, but at the same time it is very dark. It can be well, trigger warning for suicide and depression and mental illness. So if you are not comfortable with these subjects, we go in deep in those subjects in this book, and I didn't know that we would, and it was very unexpected, but at the same time it matches perfectly the story, and I just really loved it. And I have never felt more understood in my life than in that book, so it was incredible. The second audiobook that I listened to was The Alchemist by Paulo Coelho. I don't know. This book, I don't know if it was the narrator, but I did not like this book. I did not enjoy it that much. I gave this book 2 stars because there was some really interesting aspects in the book that I thought could have been more exploited, and that we could have looked more into those subjects, but the plot line in itself was very weird, very incoherent at times, and I did not understand everything that was happening. Maybe I should read the book in a physical form. I don't know, maybe it was too complex of a story for me to just listen to it, because the story is like in the span of like 30 years, and it's really fast when you advance in time, and that was really confusing for me. The next book that I read is I Hope I Screw This Up by Kyle Cease. I'm not going to read the whole title because it's way too long, but this is an autobiography. It's written by him and he's still alive, so I don't know what kind of a book it is, but I did not like this book. Unfortunately, I gave this book 2 stars. Just because it could have been really great, and it wasn't. The thing happened that I recently read 2 books by Mark Manson, which were incredible, and I will link them down below. I was kind of expecting this book to be very similar in the way that it was written, and maybe it's on my part that I expected that, but it's supposed to be a self-help book, and I don't know, it felt very empty in most things. I read 50 pages and I gave up so quickly. I was ready to give up after 20 pages, and I pushed through until 50 to just at least have read 50 pages of this book, because I felt like just reading 20 was not enough to make a good criticism about this book. I felt like nothing was filtered. I felt like I was reading somebody's inner thoughts, and nothing was actually interesting. It just was a rambling of, I am really scared of writing this book. Yes. The fifth book that I read was a graphic novel in French, so I will be talking very briefly about it. It is the fourth book in this series, Like a Boy, and I love it so much. And it's really, really like light, it's really funny, it's really childish, not childish, but it's for children, and I read it, and I'm 22 and I accept that. I think that the main reason why I like these graphic novels so much, because these are all graphic novels, it is the drawing style. I really like it. It's really, really cartoony, it's really, really anime, but not anime, but it's really cartoony, and I don't know, I like it. Alright, the third book I listened as an audiobook was Love and Gelato by Jenna Evans Walsh. And I did not write who it was narrated by, but I will put it on the screen. I really love this book, and I realized that it was a first book to a series of contemporary books, which is really exciting because the other books are also not the newest one, but the second one is also on Scribd as an audiobook, so that will be really interesting to listen to. I was supposed to listen to it this month and I did not. It's really, really fun. It's about this girl whose mother died. Okay, I said it's really fun and I went with a completely dark sentence. Let me rephrase. It's about a girl whose mother dies of cancer, and she has to go to Italy to meet her father. Apart from that, the depressing part, she has to go to Italy, which is really fun because it was very, very visual, and it seemed so cool. And in these times of isolation, it was really nice to travel to a new place where I have never personally been. It's a very, very cutesy, romantic story, but it also has a mystery type to it, because when she arrives in Italy, she is giving her mother's notebook, and she starts reading it, and there are some mystery about who her father might be or might actually be. So she starts reading it and she uncovers some secrets about her family. The seventh book that I read was Imagine Me by Tahira Mafi. This is the sixth and last book in the Shadow Me series, and I don't think I need to talk about this book much, because if you have been following me for like just a little bit, you will know that this is my favorite series of all time. I am in love with this baby, and yes, I made a review about this book also recently, so if you want to go and check it out, I will be linking the video in the description. And yes, I won't talk about this book in particular, but I will be talking shortly about Shadow Me, just to explain what the premise of the book is. This is in a dystopian world where everything is dying, basically. We have the reestablishment, which became like the main government. Everything is rationed, people are very poor, and they are just, it's not fun times. Juliet is our main character, and she has been in prison for a year because when she touches people, people die. Yeah. And after a year of imprisonment, she's not freed, but well, yeah, kind of. She is freed by the head of the Sector 45, which is Warner, and he wants her to be his new torture machine to prisoners and war refugees, I don't even know. And so she has to find a way to survive without actually torturing people for evil persons. yeah, I absolutely adored this book. It was the final, so of course it was very emotional, but I give it a 5 out of 5 stars. The whole story was very, very well made, and it was well concluded. And yes, there was something that I was very, very upset about, but if you want to know what it is, just go check the video. I don't know if I said it, but Gelato, what? No. Love and Gelato. I give this book a 5 out of 5 stars. And the last book that I read in April was Serafina by Rachel Hartman. I give this book a 3.5 out of 5 stars. It was not my favorite, but I did really enjoy it. If you don't know what it's about this fantastical world where there are humans and dragons. And these dragons can transform themselves as humans to communicate with them and have treaties and, well, mainly to have peace treaties. The dragons and the humans have been at peace for over 30 years. I think they're going to their 40 years anniversary in the book, and we follow this girl named Serafina. Oh my god, I'm so stupid. We follow this girl named Serafina, who is half dragon. And so Serafina has to hide herself all the time because nobody knows that half breeds actually exist, and it's very much frowned upon, and they're mostly called the devil, so not good. And so Serafina has to always hide herself and hide who she is because she has some scales of a dragon on her forearm and on her back, and so she has to be very careful all the time. And in this book she is thrown into an investigation about the murder of somebody, and she has to help the prince Lucian Kiggs, and yeah, she has to help with the investigation, so she's being put in the spotlight, which is not something that she wants. I really enjoyed this book. The only reason that I didn't give it a 4 or 5 stars was mainly the world building, because the world building is mainly put around religion, and it's really fine. I don't care that it's religious, but the thing is that they have so many saints that it is so hard to keep track. Honestly, it was very, very hard to understand and to remember which saint was who and what they did and what they ate. It was a little bit difficult to follow, and we have a lot of new terms. It's hard to just remember what a term means. Alright, for my TBR, I'm currently reading Shadow Scale by Rachel Hartman, so I will be trying to continue it and finish it, but it's quite a huge book, so I will hopefully do it. And I still have To Kill a Mockingbird by Harper Lee on my TBR because it was my TBR for April and I did not read it, so it will stay on my TBR. And unfortunately it will be the only 2 books that I will be putting on my TBR for this month, because I will be working with my boyfriend for his company to make screen protectors. He started a company just to do that, and he is selling a lot. And last month I couldn't do it because I was still at school, but now I'm totally free, so I will be working 5 to 6 days a week from like 9 to midnight, so I won't have any time to read, unfortunately. So just those 2 books I think is more than fair, because I don't even think that I will be able to finish Shadow Scale, but we'll see how it goes. Maybe in my day of free time I will be able to do it. We'll see how it goes, and hopefully I will be able to read some. I don't know. So that was it, guys. I really hope you enjoyed. If you stayed this long, well, congratulations, and tell me down below which books you've read, and if you have any recommendations for me, just leave them down in the comments. I'll see you guys next week. Goodbye.